I feel like, you ever had one of those moments where you got bacon but no eggs, or milk but no cereal? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think a lot of us are feeling that. And so I try to be patient with myself as I was setting up for this, because I actually wasn't intending to do this video at this time, but I got out here and realized, wait a minute, I have this, but I don't have that. But I have that, but I don't have this. And so I'm working with the imperfection of the moment. And I think a lot of us are feeling that as we're coming into this energy. Yes, you might find yourself being more nitpicky than usual. Guilty as charged. A little bit fussy. Yes, I have, but on the positive, because that's not so positive, right? I don't have my glasses, right? And I hate these glasses, so please ignore them. On the positive, I think the highest use of this energy is us cleaning things up in our lives, getting things in order, simplifying, getting rid of the mess, okay? Getting rid of what is not necessary, what is not essential. And hopefully that's becoming more clear. I mean, I will say right now, with the sun in Pisces, and the sun is conjunct Neptune, right? This is, maybe you feel like me. I said this a few days ago when I went live just for chat only, where I can feel energies shifting, right? But I don't know where it's coming from or where it's going. And I don't entirely know how to manifest it right now. But things are definitely shifting. And I think for many of us, the lack of clarity largely has to do with how we are asserting ourselves, because Mars is squaring Neptune. So there's definitely some kind of challenge with how do I assert myself? What direction do I move in? Do I go in? I'm not quite sure with this Neptunian energy here. Not seeing things clearly, or maybe again there's some contrast or tension going on between what you have idealized, Neptune, and what reality is, right? And this sun in Pisces is very idealistic, right? Very spiritual, 5D, up in the ethers. Yet this full moon, this Virgo energy is, the exact opposite, saying, hey, we got to be grounded here. Let's deal with reality. And so we've got to find some harmony in reality versus the ideals, and that can be challenging, especially as we are entering, Pisces is entering into, I should say Saturn is entering into Pisces. Okay, I'm probably going to do another video where I talk a little bit more about this. Oh, I have so much to say about the last 2.5 years of Saturn being in Aquarius. I definitely want to make a video about that. I may do that today while I'm out. Hadn't planned on it, but we're working with the energy. We're not going to focus on, well, I had it planned out, it was supposed to be this perfect little way. That's full moon and Virgo energy. I have this set idea of the way it's supposed to go, my little plan, and then boom, the imperfection of reality happens, and you gotta make it flawsome, because there's definitely a lot of flaws in reality, and somehow we gotta make it awesome with all the flaws, and then we come up with something flawsome. Anyway, yeah, Saturn going into Pisces. I really feel this full moon is playing a role in it. I'm just going to say intuitively, right? I'm not being textbook here in this. There's plenty of that on YouTube if you want a textbook description, but I'm just going to say intuitively, I feel that with this full moon energy coming in right at about the time Saturn goes into Pisces, it's almost like, okay, time to get serious about your wishes, your ideals. Time to get grounded about this pie in the sky stuff. And there could be some tough lessons about what you've wished for, what you've idealized, and having to put the work in for it, and figuring out how to manifest from a grounded position, okay? And there could be some sober lessons on things that you have put your faith in or wanted to believe in that at the end of the day might not really hold any water. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to what's going on with this full moon on the 7th, and because I think that is really setting a tone for the next 2.5 years with Saturn and Pisces. Like I said, I'll talk more at a later time about Saturn and Pisces. And before I do that, I'm going to give a bit of a commentary on Saturn and Aquarius the last 2.5 years, particularly from the perspective of an Aquarian, which I am. Aquarius, Sun, Mercury, midheaven. So if you want to make sure you get that, make sure you have subscribed, you've activated the bell for all notifications, right? Because as many of you know, I know you gotta say ad nauseum on here on YouTube, and I hate it. But you gotta say it for some people that don't know. If you just hit the subscribe button, that doesn't mean you're gonna be notified when I come out with new content. So hit the subscribe button and activate the bell for notifications. Okay, moving on. I'm done beating that drum. So, general common knowledge also is that with full moons, we're talking about endings, completions, culminations. And, because it's lunar energy, yes, it could be something that is very emotional to you, and that you're having to end, okay? Now, this may or may not be a happy ending, right? Everybody's got unique energies. Look at your natal chart, and I am going to put out some readings for y'all to pull cards, to get some oracle card and tarot card guidance, to really understand also astrologically how this is hitting your chart, and give you some advice about releasing, letting go of things. Me personally, on full moons, I like to not, have my plate full on that day, because particularly with my moon in Pisces, I'm very sensitive to these lunar energies. So I want to make sure on a full moon that if I am having any feelings that I need to process, I can do that without, interruption. Because I think at the time of the full moon, you need to be present with your emotions, and you need to release them, okay? And this, for many of you, might have to do with healing something within your physical body, Virgo, or your spiritual body, Pisces, Sun and Pisces, right? There's definitely some contrast here going on between that Sun in Pisces and that Moon in Virgo, having to do with healing and rectifying these differences of what's going on in the 5D versus the 3D. So try to make sure that you set some time aside on that full moon to be present with your feelings, and to purge if you need to. If you need to cry something out, if you need to write it out, sing it out, dance it out, whatever your outlet is, to process and get through it, I think that's going to be positive, and I think it's going to help us for quite some time, because as I said, this is setting the tone for this Saturn and Pisces transit over the next 2.5 years. And also, there might be a time of reflection over what happened. The last time we had a moon in Virgo, which I believe was like last fall. Okay, so without being too specific with dates here, You can look it up online, but just generally speaking, what was going on for you last fall? What things did you start at that time that you are now ending or completing? And there might be some just simply, closing that out in your mind, like, okay, I'm shutting that chapter of my life. What did I learn from that? How do I move forward now, knowing what I now know from that transit? I'm going to say very briefly, and I'll cover this again with the cards, but I'm just going to say very briefly, Aries, this is hitting your 6th house, having to do with really all things Virgo, health, habits, daily routines, vocation, your work, okay? There's something maybe changing with what's going on with you on the day-to-day, or with the way you take care of your physical body. Taurus, and I gotta say specifically Taurus risings, all of the signs when I go down, specifically your rising, okay? But yes, it can apply to your sun sign, your moon as well, but specifically for rising. Taurus risings, this is hitting our 5th house, and I gotta say our because I'm a Taurus rising. 5th house is having to do with fun, dating, romance, children. So there's something that maybe you are closing out in your life having to do with relationship with your children, if you have any, or something having to do with your childhood. Some of you completing, hopefully successfully, some creative projects, creative ventures, things that you've been passionate about. Others of you, this might be an ending with your dating life, and that could be good or bad, right? If you've been going through a dry spell, could be the end of that. This is really positive, right? But if you have been dating someone and it's been on the rocks, might be, some finality there, okay? Gemini, this is hitting your 4th house of home, family, sense of belonging. So maybe no longer living at a location, or the way that you live, okay? Or what you identify with as a sense of belonging. That is culminating or coming to completion. Again, for some of you, this could be very positive, like you're completing the sale of a house, okay, or buying a house. And Cancer, this is hitting your 3rd house, having to do with siblings and your local neighborhood, your neighbors, communication, learning, okay? And so some of you could be looking at no longer living at a location, or this could be that, the way that you've been communicating or learning, and there's something changing or shifting. You're coming into a new chapter of your life in the way that you communicate to others. And again, it could be a new chapter if you have siblings, or you're dealing with a group of siblings or neighbors. Something is ending or coming to culmination with that. And Leo, this is occurring in your 2nd house of personal income, self-worth, possessions, values, okay? So, depending on what's going on in your natal chart, some of you, this might be no longer valuing something, or a way that you've gone about getting personal income. Something is ending, and that's opening up a new beginning for you, okay? So something is coming to completion there. And then, oh wow, Virgo, yes, Virgo, how could I forget? Okay, Virgo, this is all about you, 1st house. It's all about your sense of self, and it's about the way that you're coming across to other people, the way that they perceive you, your reputation. And so there's something shifting, okay? Maybe something that you identified with before, or the way people perceived you, they're not seeing you the same way anymore, and you're not seeing yourself the same way anymore. And I heard a Virgo today say, I really feel like my self-worth issues are being like under scrutiny right now. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's 1st house, totally. So might identify with that in some respect. All right. Libra, this is hitting your 12th house. Very Piscean, right? Very Neptunian. We're talking about this very spiritual house having to do with the spiritual realm, the subconscious, dream activities, sleep. Okay, so some of you, if you have been also in some respect professionally or personally engaging with institutions having to do with healing or isolation, such as prisons, hospitals, things like that, there's something coming to an end there, okay? Or again, this could be on the subconscious where it's very spiritual. You're starting to get closure or finalize something within yourself on a spiritual level that has maybe been a stumbling block for you, maybe been some self-sabotage, some you didn't realize it, but you were maybe in victim mode in some respect. It might, I'm hearing undoing, your own undoing, okay, for some of you. That's coming to an end. And I just heard facing yourself, facing something hidden about yourself, okay? So, wow, I don't know why. I think I just unpacked something for the Libras there. I don't know. I gotta stop. Okay, I want to give everybody fair time. We're gonna do cards, so make sure you're subscribed and activated the bell for the cards. We'll go deeper and see what the cards say in another reading. But I don't know what that's about, Libra. I just opened a can of worms there. Okay, we're gonna move on to Scorpio. Lovely Scorpios. This is hitting your 11th house of all things Aquarian. Woohoo! I'm an Aquarius, so hopefully you're not ending your viewing of my channel, right? No. But it might be with friend groups, right? It might be no longer associating with a certain group of people anymore, or the way that you engage with certain people, something about your social life or work colleagues. Something is changing, is ending, okay, in the way that you interact with those groups of people. And it could be things online as well, your online social media no longer engaging like you have before. You know, again, we put this Virgo new moon on it. You're criticizing, you're maybe being a little bit more critical about who you let into your friend group, or who, just some of you may be going through social media and doing a bit of a clean sweep. You know what I mean? Like, do I really need to follow this person anymore? Or why am I friends with these people anymore? Yeah. Okay. Also, some of you really scrutinizing your ideals, your ambitions. Are you getting what you want? And it might have to do with a soulmate, whatever you have aspired to, whether it's romantically, professionally, however it applies. You're starting to look at it, I think, more discerningly and decide what needs to go, okay, and what needs to stay. All right, and then Sagittarius, this is hitting your 10th house of career status. You know, getting recognition, having achievement in this world, and your legacy, the legacy that you're leaving behind. So again, for some of you, maybe reevaluating, am I doing what I need to be doing with my life? Is this my life purpose, destiny? What do I need to be doing to move myself to my life purpose, destiny? And then just like cutting out whatever is getting in the way of you living on point with your life. For some of you also, this might have to do with shared resources within a family, where you're starting to look more analytically towards, I'm hearing who's got what and why and from where. I don't know why, okay, but I don't know, you're starting to look at money flow within maybe within a family dynamic or a career dynamic for some of you, okay, and looking at how you are going to, I'm hearing, maneuver yourself towards what it is that you want and desire. And I'm also hearing something about positioning, you getting better positioned, okay. Capricorn, this is hitting your 9th house of long distance travel, higher learning, your beliefs, okay, spirituality, anything Sagittarius, okay. So for some of you, I think that you are starting to maybe I think this is hitting you harder in terms of what can you put your faith in, what can you put your belief in, what is going to get you where you want to go. And I'm hearing something about, well, what's going to go the distance? What's going to go the distance? What's going to carry you there? You're starting to, I think, look more discerningly at this and release the things that are not going to get you the distance that you want to go. What's not going to get you there, and what can you believe in that is actually going to, I don't know, pay off for you. This is, I don't know why I'm getting beliefs that pay off for you. It's like, is this paying off for you? Is maybe something that you're reevaluating during this full moon. Okay, Aquarius, Team Aquarius. Okay, this is hitting our 8th house. Oh, joy, shared resources, other people's money, the money houses, okay? And for some of you, this also might have to do with power dynamics, intimacy, sexuality, okay? All that private stuff, taxes. Some of you got to do your taxes, right? Finish that, finalize that, get that underway, get that completed. Others of you, you're really looking at, who do I want to share resources with, and maybe cutting some people out. Looking very discerningly, again, about, I don't know why I'm seeing a 3 of Pentacles card, like, who's being cooperative with you, who's adding values that you value, and vice versa, okay? I'm hearing something about mutual effort. So you cutting out the things that are not working in concert with you, in terms of resources and value, so that you come into alignment with what does. And if this is about your sex life and intimacy, again, I'm going to say similar to what I said to Taurus. You know, if you've been going through a dry spell with your sex life, or feeling like you're not finding intimacy in your relationships, which intimacy does not have to be sexual, right? But if you feel like you've been in a dry spell with, you know, and mistrust issues, these close, you know, finding closeness on an emotional, physical level with others, that's coming to an end. However, if you have not been in a dry spell, you might be getting a bit of a timeout, okay? It really depends on your natal chart. We'll see what the cards say when we do that video. And finally, moving on to Pisces, this is hitting your 7th house of long-term committed relationships, such as marriage, business partnerships, contracts, legal agreements, significant others that are with you for a good part of your life, okay? Decisions that you are making, very important decisions that you're making. So it could be that a contract is ending. It could be that some partnership that you've been in, whether it's professional or personal, is coming to an ending, or a phase in that partnership is closing out. And again, it doesn't have to be the end, you know, with a tombstone on it. It could simply be that you're shutting that a chapter in that relationship, and you're coming into a new chapter of that relationship, a new phase, because you're closing out the old one. So we'll see what the cards say, and I hope you join me for that when I put it out. And until next time, don't nitpick yourself to death, all right? Be your Flawsome self. It's never gonna be perfect, you know. So we gotta flex and flow with it, right? And the sun in Pisces and Neptune is up there helping us with that. But yeah, do take out the trash on this full moon, okay? In Virgo, take out the trash. But keep your valuable self. All right. See you again soon. Be blessed.